What's up YouTube? Today I brought new colors of the shark hoodie. So there are two in red rice color. As usual, this one here is the NinjaHype version, and this one here is the DHGate version. I've already made approximately around 4 to 5 episodes of videos on shark hoodies. My goal is to compare essentially all the different shark hoodies currently available on the market now. As you can see in each episode, since I'm currently using the DHGate version for comparison, a number of buyers frequently choose to shop on platforms such as DHGate or Camo because the hoodie prices there are indeed very economically priced. However, you might not have compared them with superior versions such as the one-to-one version from NinjaHype. If you don't compare them, you might not even notice the significant difference. Some people might just wear them without caring, but if you wear them out, or if you've ever bought a StockX version, you'll realize just how substantial the difference truly is. If you like the comparison videos on our channel, please don't forget to click subscribe and give us a like. Your support is my greatest motivation. Thank you. Also, I've taken some
of the latest colorways of denim tiers hoodies from the warehouse. I will also do some reviews in the upcoming
videos. The quality of this hoodie is quite good. If you have any styles you like, or if there are certain clothes or pants you like, you can let me know. We have a lot of stock in our warehouse, and I will make videos of them one by one, so that it will be more intuitive for you to see. All right, now, as I'm holding these two, at this moment, you should already be able to see the difference, right? Because if you've watched our previous shark hoodie comparison videos, you can see these two faces. I'm holding the same size for both. This one is size M, and this one is also size M. But in reality, the difference between these two sizes is really quite significant, isn't it? Because this one is absolutely true to size. It definitely matches the European and American sizing, meaning when shopping on the NinjaHype website, you can be confident that you don't need to deliberately buy a size larger. You will find the right size. However, if you purchase on DHGate, the size will be much smaller because this is Asian sizing. Asian sizing is 1 to 2 sizes smaller than European and American sizing, so please pay attention to this when purchasing, as it is very important. All right, next, let's actually take a look at this shark face. In this version from NinjaHype, the shape of the shark mouth, you can indeed see the shark mouth. Theoretically, the teeth should extend all the way to this part, but in the DHGate version, the teeth only reach here. In a moment, I will lay them out on the table to give you a more detailed look at the details, okay? All right, now let's lay them out on the table. Continuing from the previous topic, I mentioned the shark teeth part earlier. In a previous video, if you watched it, you would notice the extension of the shark's teeth. Because in the last video, I had a StockX version. You can see that the extension of this shark should have this wavy shape and should extend all the way to this position, right? This position is very important. In the DHGate version, the shark doesn't have this curve, right? It doesn't achieve this wavy curve. It should be wavy like this, right? This is very important, and this detail might not be noticed by most people, but if you get two pieces, the one with better quality from the NinjaHype version, you will notice this wave. The DHGate version doesn't achieve this wave design. Firstly, it doesn't achieve it. Secondly, the length of the shark's teeth is insufficient, isn't it? Then there's no need to talk about other details. Secondly, let's look at what I mentioned earlier. In the previous videos, I emphasize in every episode the alignment of the stitching in the middle of the shark's teeth. It doesn't align with the center gap. Now let's look at the NinjaHype version, right? The stitching of the shark must definitely pass through the teeth, okay? This is something I repeatedly emphasize. As you can see, doesn't the shape of the shark look more clearly visible? When you lay it flat, this triangular shape quite naturally appears as expected, but unfortunately, the DHGate version is too soft and pliable and can't form this shape. Now moving on. Okay, next let's look at the inside labels and fabric.
This is from DHGate. I misspoke. This is the DHGate version. The fabric here is terry cotton, and like the issues in previous episodes, if you wear this in the summer, it might not be a problem because it's very thin, right? It's very thin, so it's extremely lightweight, but unlike the authentic NinjaHype version, you can see this fabric should have a fleece lining, which would keep you warm in the winter. In the previous episodes, when I talked about the yellow camo shark hoodie, I already mentioned that the authentic version should have a darker color, but the DHGate version is lighter. NinjaHype makes a 1-to-1 version that is exactly the same as the authentic one, and you can see the stitching here. They just randomly used red thread to stitch both sides. It's very uneven, isn't it? It didn't even actually stitch all the way to the bottom, you know, it only really went halfway, right? In the NinjaHype version, as you can see, the stitching is indeed done quite neatly. Alright, next let's look at the wash label. The DHGate version, although it says made in Japan, uses the old version of the golden monkey head, which doesn't have the vertical gold thread in the middle. The wash label on the NinjaHype version, as you can clearly see, it has the vertical gold thread in the middle of the label. If you have seen my previous StockX version of this tag, as I have mentioned before, you will definitely notice that this is the post-year Bape hoodie, and it has this vertical gold thread on the gold label, which is indeed the new version of the golden logo. Alright, now moving on to the shark's eye part. This specific eye is noticeably small. Too small. When you compare these two shark eyes side by side, if both are size M, aren't these two smaller by a circle? The DHGate version, the shark eyes on the DHGate version, are smaller by a circle compared to the NinjaHype version, because the overall size is smaller by a circle, and I think all other parts, all the details of the eyes will be smaller. Alright, next let's look at this color. When we look closely, this color doesn't seem quite right either. The camouflage part is relatively darker, isn't it? The camouflage part is made relatively darker, which looks quite unnatural, and it seems that some parts of the ape head print are also done in a darker color. However, the color transition on the NinjaHype is very relatively natural. In my recent shark videos, the approach has been indeed absolutely the same. You just need to take a close look at the comparison, because as you can see, the details of the shark hoodie are basically just these few. And then there's still, you know, definitely the old problem, right? To be honest, if you think about it, it's quite interesting, you know. The stitching has already been sewn onto the embroidery in a completely unsatisfactory manner, and this detail is done in an entirely poor way. The stitching is all over the place, isn't it? It's the same issue as in previous episodes. In contrast, the NinjaHype's edges must be done very meticulously and tidily, with absolutely enough white space, and precisely so. The stitching is sewn onto the edge correctly, right? And not sewn onto any part of embroidery itself, otherwise it would look extremely messy indeed. WGM did a great job on this project overall, didn't they? There's only a little bit of loose thread, which isn't a big issue. You can just trim it off later. WGM. Also, looking at the back, the tiger part, the logo on this tiger should be a bit smaller. This is NinjaHype version, this is DHGate version. My height and weight are approximately on the screen for your reference. This piece looks really stylish when worn, and the zipper can be zipped up, and it is perfect for any occasion with its unique design. Quite easily, because I even have glasses on inside, but it actually shows that the hood is really big enough, and I could very easily zip it up. It's a bit inconvenient to operate with one hand, but actually, the zipper is very smooth. Look, the zipper is very smooth. If you have the DHGate version, the zipper might get stuck halfway. The next item is Fear of God pants, which are also available on the NinjaHype website, and they're very comfortable. This one is the flare version, so when worn it's very loose, not the tight-fitting type. If there are any other colors of the shark hoodie you want to see, I can film them for you later.